Welcome everybody. So today we are doing a little tier list to celebrate the holiday season of Christmas movies. I did not highlight that correctly, but we'll work with it. So, to begin, the I've not seen an awful lot of these movies. So I don't really have too much to say about them. It's mostly just like holiday specials from like cartoons or TV shows that I never watched, like the Brady Bunch, or just very old, like some of these older like Frosty movies or Babes in Toyland. Like I know what they are. I've just never actually watched them, so I don't really want to give my opinion on it. But yeah, other than that, I'm just going to jump right into it. And the first one is Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh, a cinematic masterpiece. I love Drake and Josh. Um, I it's actually one of the shows I really want to rewatch, which is a long list of, and just for like, ah, please let me scroll up. Okay, it's not going there. I have seen it. We are going to put this in the very, all right, we'll call this a Drake and Josh level, and that will be used as our basis for everything else. Eight Crazy Nights, not technically a Christmas movie. We're going to count it anyway, and I'm going to put it under Drake and Josh purely because I love Adam Sandler. I love the musical numbers in this because it is a musical. It is one of it's also very one of very few. I believe it's supposed to be with Hanukkah. I could be wrong about that. I haven't seen this movie in forever, which is another reason why I'm just putting it here because I don't quite remember. It's been a hot minute. A Christmas Story. I actually did not watch this until I was like 18, which I guess is like sacrilegious to most households. I really like this movie. Um, I couldn't tell you anything about it because I've only seen it like one time, but I'll definitely put it in the great section. That I literally have no other reasoning. Next, A Charlie Brown Christmas. I love A Charlie Brown Christmas. It is probably one of my go-to holiday movies that I just don't really see that frequently. At least in like the animated section. Like, a common theme is there's not an awful lot of animated Christmas stuff on this list. This, I would argue, is the greatest. I love Charlie Brown. I think it's like, especially since like growing up, I've definitely appreciated it a lot more now. I will definitely put it in great, but I think I would rank it higher than A Christmas Story. Next up, we have. I was actually just talking with my girlfriend about this movie a couple nights ago. A Christmas Carol that I believe this was 2009, animated with like CGI starring Jim Carrey as Ebenezer Scrooge. I love this movie. Like besides Charlie Brown Christmas, I would argue this is another phenomenal, amazing, even Christmas animated movie. To the points that I am probably gonna put at the top of the list for the animated section, just purely off the fact that I've seen this movie dozens of times through school. This was typically the movie back in like middle school that would be put on during Christmas season, like whenever. Uh, like some of my most fond memories of school are just like those Christmas parties you would have right after you take a big test, and it's like 4 days of school left. So they're like, oh, we're just gonna be watching Christmas movie in the next 4 days. Oftentimes, it's Christmas Carol, or you would see like Santa Buddies, which I'll talk more about that later. Next up, Art for Christmas. This is a movie I do not have many opinions about because I've only seen it like 2 or 3 times, and what I do remember is that it's not the greatest, but I don't even want to put it in just all right. I want to put it in not the best just because I could be wrong. I've not seen this movie in a solid 4 or 5 years. So, but for the time being, we're just going to put it in the not the best category. And speaking of things I haven't seen in absolutely forever, so you should not really take my opinion on it. Is this Looney Tunes Christmas special, which just because of that, I think I'm just gonna put it in the haven't seen because like it's been such a long time since I haven't seen it. Now that I'm like thinking about it, same goes with these next two, Casper's Haunted Christmas. I remember watching this. This was part of the Casper show that they did on, I think it was, I want to say Cartoon Network in like the early 2000s. I remember watching it, but like I just haven't seen it for in such a long time that I think it'd just be better, all things considered, to uh, put it in the haven't seen. And same sort of goes with the Beauty and the Beast holiday special. I really like Disney. Beauty and the Beast is the animated one is definitely at least in my top 10 of their like actual animated movies. And their live action adaptation, I would argue, is their best one they've done. But yeah, I don't really remember anything from the Christmas special. All right, Daddy's Homes 2. I'm Daddy's Home 2. I'm going to put this in the Ho Ho Horrible section. I I think Daddy's Home is a really funny movie, like the original one. I really like it. I'll talk more about it later, but the sequel just does not deliver. And like as it the worst part is I can like visualize the movie in my head so vividly, and I don't like that I can because like it's really just not that good. It's not as funny as the first. There's a couple funny scenes, like there was like a nativity scene that I remember laughing a lot in. Um, but other than that, it's honestly not that funny of a movie. All right, next up, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. You cannot convince me otherwise, and just let me explain. So, in my mind, a Christmas movie is a Christmas movie if it's set during Christmas time and has a good message. And Die Hard has both. It is set on a Christmas Eve party, and the whole like character arc of John McClane is just like him learning to be a better husband and father. And for that very reason, I'm going to actually put this top of the list, just purely because I love Die Hard and it is forever a Christmas movie in my heart. Deck the Halls. This movie is a fever dream for me. I remember watching it. And like I can visualize it in my head because it's Arnold and Danny, if I recall correctly. I can't really tell from the poster; it's very small. But I remember watching this movie thinking, how did this movie get made? I would argue it's one of those movies that's so bad that it's at least a little bit enjoyable. So I'd put it above Daddy's Home 2. And actually, now that I think about it, I forgot this is supposed to switch spots. There we go. Now we're good. Next, one of my all-time favorite Christmas movie. I love Elf. Elf, for me, was a movie that I even watched when it wasn't Christmas. I remember sitting in the back of my stepmom's van, just watching Elf. It was like middle of July. I don't know why I was watching it, but I was like 8, and I was like, man, I love Elf. We should watch Elf, and we did. So I am also a really big Will Ferrell fan. Um, like I'm very glad we never got a sequel to Elf. I did not think it would have been that good, but like I mentioned, this is one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. So I'm a little biased when I do this, but I am going to put it at the top of the list. And next up is a movie that a lot of people I feel like will know, but I actually watched all his movies growing up because like my dad wanted us to watch it. It's Ernest Saves Christmas. If you don't know who Ernest is, he was this, I want to say he was in commercials first, but then he became such a popular character that they gave him some movies like there's like Ernest Breaks Out of Jail or something like that. There's Ernest Scared Stupid, which was the first movie I ever watched, and it probably traumatized me, just because of how creepy some of the prosthetics are. Ernest Saves Christmas I watched the least, but I really like the Ernest movies. I think they are very funny, And so I'm just going to put it in the just all right section. I do not want to put it above A Crazy Night, but I'll always put it above Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. Frosty the Snowman, I honestly, I honestly think is overrated. Um, I, I think it's just one of those movies I've seen too many times at this point. Where like I'm not even gonna put it in like not the best or horrible. I'm just it's just all right. It's like it's a classic, but that doesn't mean it's good. Like I'll watch it just because it's Frosty the Snowman. But other than that, it's I really have no reason to watch it. It's not a movie. I'm like, oh, I want to watch Frosty the Snowman. I honestly look at this when I was going through the list before I started filming, like picking out the ones I haven't seen. I totally forgot that Gremlins takes place on Christmas, and I love Gremlins. But it's been a hot minute since I've watched it, and it's probably one of the first like official scary movies I watched growing up. I remember watching this one with my dad and being absolutely terrified by the like by Spike. Um, and it's a good movie. I really enjoy it. I would not put it above a lot of the movies in this list just because I am going off of based on mix of both how I like it and how much it counts as a Christmas movie to me. I will put it in great just because, like I said, I love Gremlins. I would not put it above Christmas Story or Charlie Brown Christmas because I will watch any of these top three movies during Christmas time. I would. I'd watch Gremlins even if it wasn't Christmas, which is the thing. I mean, I guess the same sort of applies to Die Hard, but All right, so Home Alone. We're gonna tackle these in order. So the first Home Alone, instant classic, top tier. I hardly need to explain anything. It is just a very funny Christmas movie, and for that reason, just that reason alone, I'm gonna put it at the top of the list. And I also just really love the theory that I can never remember his name because I can only remember like the actress name, like Katina McCulkey, Culkin, I think it's his last name. I don't remember the character's name, but there's a theory that he grew up to be Jigsaw from like the Saw movies, and that alone is just a very funny topic to me. All right, next up, Home Alone 2. I do not really remember a lot of Home Alone 2, but the one part I do remember is Trump's cameo where he's like, oh, it's down the hall to the left. And it's just been ingrained in my memory that I can't put it like below, not the best, but I I'll put it right in the middle of all right because like I said, I don't really remember a lot of it besides the memes that came from it. And I mean, same sort of goes with Home Alone 3. But even then, I think I might just straight up put this in haven't seen because I do not know the last time I have seen Home Alone 3. All right, Jim Carrey's The Grinch. I I love this movie. I love Jim Carrey. He is a phenomenal Grinch, and this is probably one of the best like Dr. Seuss adaptations out there, I would argue. It's a bit sad that Mike Myers might have killed like all future live action Dr. Seuss movies purely from the 2003 Cat in the Hat movie, which I hope I can eventually talk about at some point because that movie is a fever dream to me. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, classic. Honestly, I would rank this way higher than Frosty the Snowman any day of the week. Out of the animated ones, this is definitely the best. I definitely put it in great. Not as high as Charlie Brown Christmas or Christmas Story, but at least in between Christmas Story and Gremlins. It's a Wonderful Life. I'm a little biased in this one because my school did for our play my senior year. This is like in the height of COVID, so we couldn't do anything like what's the word, like in person, but we still decided to do a radio show that we recorded and put online. And for our radio show, we chose It's a Wonderful Life. And I got to play Clarence the Angel in that. It is a very heartfelt movie. I watched it to prepare to roll, and I really want to rewatch it this Christmas. Like outside of like all the fantasy ones, like I mean, there's still fantasy elements in this, but it's a very human Christmas movie. I don't think I'd put it quite top of the list because I want to try to keep it kind of minimal up top. Actually, no. You know what? I really would because this is probably the most like the best human movie. I guess I'd call it that. Like, there's nothing like fantastical about it besides the whole Clarence being an angel thing. So they see an alternate timeline of how the town would look. Um, like it's sort of going best Christmas movie overall, best animated movie, best meme movie, best kids movie, best Christmas adaptation, and best just like human pieces. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Uh, I honestly have not seen this in forever. I don't remember why I kept this in here, so I'm just gonna put it in the haven't seen because I I vaguely recall seeing it, but I don't know if I have much to even say on it. Krampus, on the other hand, is I really like this movie. It is it's very much a dark comedy. It has its funny bits, it has its absolutely terrifying bits, and it's definitely one I'm going to rewatch this year. Unfortunately, though, I don't think I can give it above a great. And like even in just like the tail end of it, because like there's so many better ones. Like it's a good movie, but I would not put it higher than a lot of the other classics that are there. All right, next are the two Mickey Christmas specials. There is the hold on, I'm trying to read this. Yeah, Once Upon a Christmas and Twice a Christmas. I am going to group both of these together because I honestly get the two mixed up all the time, and I'm going to put them both in the like high all right territory because like I can remember certain bits and liking certain bits of both of these movies, but that's all I can really say on them. Next are the Miracle on 34th Street movies. Again, I'm just going to group them both together, even though they're both vastly different in some regards. I honestly I don't know the last time I've watched them, so I'm just going to keep them and haven't seen Muppet Christmas Carol. This is okay. Like as much as I love the CG Christmas Carol starring Jim Carrey, Muppets Christmas Carol is one of like I am of the belief that's one of the best Christmas movies ever made. Uh, like legitimately, no memes. It's good. It's its own category though, because I still want Jim Carrey Christmas Carol up here too. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This is a classic. I remember my dad showing me this. Um, I will definitely put this in great. I don't know where in great exactly. Probably in between Grinch and Christmas Story. It's just a classic. I love Chevy Chase. Really funny guy. He is definitely the highlight of this movie for me. Nightmare Before Christmas. This is a movie I've actually seen a lot lately. Um, and I honestly do not really count it much as a Christmas movie, but we're gonna roll with it because I think it's more of a Halloween movie. And just because it's Tim Burton, you can never go wrong with Tim Burton. I will put it in between again, Christmas Vacation, Grinch Stole Christmas. And this is another one that I have like fever dreams of is all of the what was it like? I don't remember what the subtitle is. It's a dog who fills in the role of one of the reindeer. Need I say more? It is going insta like it's all right. I'd probably put it right between Home Alone 2 and Ernest. I don't remember a lot of it. Rise of the Guardians. I'm gonna be real. I remember watching it. I remember watching on a bus on a way to a trip. But I'm just honestly just gonna put it in the haven't seen because I can't. I wouldn't be able to tell you a single thing about it. All I know is that like Jack Frost is the lead character, and he has like a feud with the Easter Bunny for some reason, and that's all I care to remember. Rudolph, I'm just gonna group both of them together because they're both classics. Not like it's in the same boat as Frosty for me, where they're classic and I'll definitely watch them this year, but I have no desire to really watch them more frequently. Santa Buddies falls into like the same group to me as like Elf, where even if it wasn't Christmas, I'd watch it. I don't know why I did. There was other Buddies movies I could have been watching, but I decided to just keep watching Santa Buddies. And these movies are awful. They're terrible. I don't know why I watched them as much as I did. I'm quite literally putting this at the bottom of the list. It is worse than Daddy's Home 2, which I don't even know how it's possible. Santa Claus is coming to town. This is another one of those ones where it's like it's a classic. I wouldn't really necessarily want to watch it again. SpongeBob SquarePants Christmas. This is another one I'm very biased with, and like you remember seeing this like two times basically with this and Porks Bros. I'm just gonna throw this one here too. I have not seen that. I forgot to take that one out. Yeah, the rest looks good. Okay, so a SpongeBob Christmas has the song "Don't Be a Jerk, It's Christmas," and we did that for our last choir concert, and I thankfully had a solo in that. It's legitimately a really good, funny special. It's I wouldn't even say it's great, but it's definitely the top of the all right list because it's SpongeBob. Like it was definitely near the tail end of like the good era of SpongeBob. Dr. Seuss's The Grinch Illumination. This had Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. I remember watching this one in theaters and like going in with really low expectations and being pleasantly surprised. Like it's not amazing. I wouldn't even say it's great, but I feel like it's definitely not terrible. So I'd probably put it between Eight Crazy Nights and Ernest Saves Christmas. Just because, well, I've got to mention before, Saves Christmas is very campy and very low budget, but I think it's sort of like the charm of that whole series. Polar Express. This movie is the stuff of nightmares. And I think Tom Hanks is partially to blame just because he plays like every character. And we also did Hot Chocolate, which was my favorite song we did at the concert. I definitely say it's in the all right territory, probably near the top though. Uh, it had a pretty good story, but I was annoyed by some of the characters. Like there was that one kid who had like the glasses and stuff like that, who I just thought was really, really annoying. Uh, the Santa Claus. We have all the Santa Claus movies. I only remember watching the first one and remember the latter two being kind of weak compared to the first. Uh, you can't go wrong with it. I definitely say it's in the all right section. Actually, no, I'll do better than that. I'll put it in great, and then I will put Santa Claus 2 in free and all right. Probably, yeah, probably in between SpongeBob and Polar Express. We'll group them together again. Winnie the Pooh Christmas. I remember watching this one. I don't really remember a lot from it, but I love the animated, like anything animated Winnie the Pooh. I think they're all really funny. I can't really say anything in particular about this one because, like I said, it's been a while since I've seen it. So I'll just put it near the middle of the all right section. The Year Without Santa Claus. I remember watching it. Don't really remember a whole bunch about it. It's another one of those classics that's kind of just like, slips your mind. Claus, really good. Uh, Probably one of Netflix's best original animated projects. I will definitely put this in great, and honestly, I probably put it above Santa Claus and Krampus, and yeah, even Gremlins, because it's about this postman here who has to like deliver mail in a town after his dad's like, "Oh, hey, you're too." I think he was like spending too much money or something like that. It's been a hot minute since I've seen it. And then he meets this guy named Claus, and they decide to like make toys for the kids in the town or whatever. It's been a hot minute since I've seen it. Hawkeye is falls into the same category as Die Hard for me, because I think Disney sort of was just like, okay, let's make Die Hard but with Hawkeye, and it works. It legitimately works. I love Jeremy Renner. I think he does a really good job, and I think it shows a really good job of like his of like showing his trauma after the events of Infinity War and Endgame, especially Natasha's death in the around the middle portion of Endgame, or not. Was it Endgame or Infinity War? Honestly, I get the two movies mixed up quite frequently when it deals with events, but it is really good. I think it's one of the more underrated Disney Plus shows. It's great. I would probably put it at the like very tail end of it though. And also, you gotta love the dog. The dog is great. I love the dog. Die Hard 2, I keep forgetting, is uh, a Christmas movie. I believe it's one of the airports, if my memory suffices. I remember this one being like in my tier list of like Die Hard in my mind. Like I typically go 1, 3, 2, 4, and I've not seen the fifth one. So I'll just put it at the bottom of actually. I probably put it above. I can't put Die Hard 2 lower than Merry Christmas, Drake and Josh. Okay, White Christmas is the last movie on the list. This is actually one I plan on probably watching tonight, actually, after I record this. Um, it is a very heartwarming movie to me, because it just not even necessarily the movie itself, but this was a movie I watched with my high school choir director in class. And so it just brings back very good memories for me, which is like terrible reasoning, but it's a musical. It's not even the greatest. I probably put it at the very, very top of all right, just to, like eliminate any bias that I might have. But all that being said, that is my tier list for Christmas movies. I'm definitely planning on doing some more of these. I want to try to get some more videos out in the future, especially in these next couple of weeks since I'm out of school. But I'd just like to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.